It is Sunday, February 25th, 2018. I'm Glenn Rubenstein, and this is the Wrestling Inc. podcast. Talking Elimination Chamber tonight. Got Raj Giri and the return of Mr. Matt Morgan. Matt, how's it going, man?
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
Doing well. Doing well. So, Matt, we'll start off. General thoughts. What did you think of the show tonight?
Big production. It started off great. The women killed it. But you couldn't avoid the overly predictable Roman finish. So it's hurt it for me a little bit.
I thought the whole show was predictable, but I thought at the same time the main stuff delivered. I thought the women's match the women's match might have been better than the men's chamber match.
It was.
Yeah. But I thought the men's chamber match was still good for what it was. The Rousey segment I thought was better than expected. And those were kind of the three most pushed things. The rest I thought really sucked. But you know, that was the push stuff was good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I guess let's hop into it and discuss it. If you're tuning into this, assuming you watched Elimination Chamber, don't have to give you the big beats about Ronda Roman going to WrestleMania to face Brock, Alexa retaining, the Bar retaining, Asuka's streak remaining unbroken. But yeah, man, let's talk about the segment. So we started with the Women's Elimination Chamber match. So what were the high points?
We had the dark match. Did you watch that?
Oh, yeah. Pardon me. The pre-show. Did you watch that, man?
No.
Oh, so it was Gallows and Anderson versus The Miz to Raj.
I had it on the background. I had other stuff going on, but I saw Gallows and Anderson get the win. Was it any good?
So it was solid. I mean, all of these guys can work a match. I think I don't know what this does for Gallows and Anderson, although the interview after was with Dash and Dawson, I believe setting them up to do something with Gallows and Anderson. But I thought what was most interesting is the interviewer called Dawson Gallows when he started the interview. It's like, oh man, that's not a good sign for these guys.
Those guys have been feuding forever. The revival with Gallows and Anderson.
Well, I think we're going to have more of that going forward if we went to them after. So, Women's Elimination Chamber match for the Raw Women's title. Mandy Rose versus Sasha Banks, Sonya Deville, Bayley, Mickie James, and Alexa Bliss. So, Absolution, let's see. Sonya started this off, I believe, with
with Bayley.
Bayley. And then Mandy came in. Then Sasha came in, then Mickie came in, then Alexa came in. Mandy Rose now is the distinction first woman eliminated from the Women's Rumble and from the first Women's Elimination Chamber match tonight. But, Matt, what were the high points of this match for you?
There was too many to sit here and call out, obviously. The entire match itself was a high point. I thought they did excellent storytelling. I think Deville had a fantastic performance for being so new. All her stuff looks very good right now in the ring. Her kicks, they're doing a good job of showcasing her strengths and hiding her weaknesses. Mandy is getting better as well, but her facials and her expressions, getting within her character in between the moves, like when she loses and starts smacking the mat, it's still hokey as hell, but she's getting there, is my point. But the match itself, I mean, what do you say? It was a fantastic match, great storytelling. Love the stuff with I don't like that Michael Cole buried the hell out of Bayley at first. When Sasha turned on her. You know what I mean? That's the little things they got to be careful of that they're not careful of. These stupid announcers go out of their way to put themselves so goddamn much, ruin a lot of wrestlers' storylines and make them look like idiots sometimes. It's like, Cole, shut the fuck up. You don't have to be Mr. Know-It-All all fucking time. We don't give a shit if game plan is one or two words. Shut your fucking mouth, get the talent over, end of story.
Yeah, I really liked when Sasha turned on Bayley. I think Sasha just looked so cool there, and I think she just came across as she could be such a great heel if they allowed her to just run with it. She's got that attitude, that swagger. I think she could be a fantastic heel. So I really love that. I love Sasha doing the frog splash on Bayley. I thought actually at the beginning of the match, I thought it was kind of there. I felt like it took a little bit to gain momentum, but once it did, I thought it was really strong. I didn't think it was great, but I thought it was a really good match. And I loved the Alexa Bliss promo at the end. She almost got me.
Hook, line, and sinker. I was just I guess they're turning her face. I had the tweet ready to hit send before she did that swerve at the end.
The tears got me because, that's such an old school heel tactic, right? You start acting appreciative and then you turn on the crowd at the end. But Alexa just pulled it off great. I loved it. It was awesome.
Mickey got the big high spot going off the chamber. I thought was really nice. Just the layers here. I know we harp on what SmackDown's lacking, but man, what I loved is there were so many layers of stories here with the factions, the friendships, the turns. I thought this was great, and I think hell of a way to start the show, but double-edged sword, because I thought nothing else popped quite as much as this opening match.
Me too.
Yeah, I agree with that. I thought the Rousey stuff was pretty cool, but yeah, real quick, you had Mandy Rose getting eliminated first by Sasha, then Mickey getting pinned by Mickey pinning Sonya. So Absolution were the first two out, and then Alexa eliminating Bayley, and then ultimately it was Alexa eliminating Sasha. Oh wait, who got rid of Mickey? I'm forgetting. Oh, Bayley pinned Mickey. So anyway, that was that.
Hell of a match. After that, we had the Raw Tag Team title match, Titus Worldwide versus The Bar. And, I'm surprised that The Bar retained here. They made...
Really?
Well, just because I thought something had to happen that wasn't predictable tonight. I figured Alexa would retain. I figured that Asuka's streak would stand. I knew Roman was going to WrestleMania. I said, here's the one surprise. Here's the one thing that could happen that would be a change from the status quo. Because I feel like the status quo was largely maintained tonight.
Yeah, these mid WrestleMania, the pay-per-views between Rumble and WrestleMania are just kind of filler. Nothing really happens on them. It's just kind of to do something, get them out of the way, and then you start the build because they don't want to do the build too early almost, or they feel like they still have to do the pay-per-view a month. So, but they got their plans and they got to get there. And really, we follow this stuff. How many people that don't follow the, wrestling on the internet? And I'm guessing it's becoming more and more of a high percentage that do follow it. But how many people that don't follow it, that just watch it casually, would predict all this stuff? Predicted Alexa, predicted that. I'm sure a lot of people probably thought Braun was winning. So.
What did you think of the match, man?
The tag match?
Yeah.
Good, well executed, and just about two teams I don't give a crap about, though. That's really the way I looked at it, honestly.
It was a little sloppy at times. This one,
I didn't care about the match. I didn't care about the outcome. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a little sloppy at a couple points, and it just felt like a bathroom break, which I feel like title matches shouldn't feel like that.
I feel like this has been a problem with every feud the Bar's been in, even when it was the Bar going up against Rollins and Ambrose. These matches, they're very good from a technical perspective. They do great stuff in the ring, but I feel storyline-wise that they just always go on exceptionally long, and with rare exception, you don't see anything particularly innovative or fresh. It's just showcases, which are great, but there's not a lot of storytelling there and not a lot of investment. But yeah, so Asuka versus Nia Jax. Okay, so most people, I'm assuming, thought Asuka was going to retain tonight, even if you're not part of the internet wrestling community. How do you think they made Nia look, Matt?
What do you mean Asuka retained?
Asuka with her streak. She kept her streak, pardon me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I thought this match was very well done, actually. I told you, I'm not in favor of Asuka selling, but the friggin' horse has been out of the barn for friggin' 10 weeks now. For that, never happening, right? So,
yeah.
The match was very well executed. I think Nia had a very good showing for herself all around, actually. I liked that match a lot. I liked how they made Nia look strong. I don't know. I liked how she kept getting out of what she got out of. I liked the power moves that she was able to pull off. I mean, she's improved, so I got to give her credit because she's someone I used to couldn't stand watching, and now, you know what I mean. She's definitely improved a lot. Got my respect a lot.
Yeah, she has improved a lot. There were a couple times where they seemed a little out of position on certain moves and things like that, but there was nothing wrong with this match. I didn't really get into it, and I think part of that is that predictability thing you talked about. You kind of know who's winning, and they never did much in the match that made you start thinking they might have changed plans or it might go the other way. But
Asuka did sell really hard. Look at how she looked when they raised her hand and how woozy she looked right before Nia attacked her. I liked that. I liked that this was not the cakewalk victorious Asuka that we're used to seeing. I like that she looked like she really had to fight it out this time. And I thought the beatdown after was interesting, and I wonder if maybe there's some storytelling there that they're going to keep her off TV between now and Mania.
Yeah, you know what I'm guessing is that they keep her off of TV until Fastlane, and then she shows up and challenges Charlotte.
Oh, yeah. It's 2 weeks. I mean, not that hard.
Yeah,
1
exactly.
week. It's like one Raw.
Yeah.
2 Raws tops, yeah.
Yeah, and then they go with Nia and Bliss at Mania. So that's my guess.
Yeah, that could be good. Okay. Bray Wyatt versus Matt Hardy.
Happy Matt Hardy got a win.
That was nice.
And the crowd was behind him.
Well, except for the whole beach ball segment of the and doing the wave.
Yeah, the crowd was really just entertaining themselves. They're chanting Rusev Day and beach ball, chanting for the beach balls and booing when one of the beach balls got confiscated.
I'll be honest, I fell asleep for 5 minutes of it. And at and I woke up with all them yelling, delete like crazy. And making his goofy noises that he makes. I swear to God, the beginning as well, I saw that. So I don't know what I missed with the beach ball.
By the way, what was with that promo he cut at the beginning of the show, or was on the pre-show, where he said I'm in Abigail's womb? It was like, dear Lord, when he was in the Bray smoky environment. I was like, God, that's something else. But I have to say, the one thing that I thought was really cool when Bray did the appearance, that Matt disappeared. I liked that.
That was cool.
I wish they'd busted that out earlier. That was a cool move.
Yeah, I did like that. One thing real quick, that Andre the Giant documentary trailer, it looks so awesome, that documentary. I'm really looking forward to that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I remember I used to be scared of Andre when I was a kid.
Really?
I used to think, like, they did this angle one time where him and Hacksaw Jim Duggan, he was choking out Hacksaw with this strap, and then Hacksaw knocked him out with this 2x4, and Hacksaw's just in the ring celebrating, and I'm like, get out of the ring. He's going to kill you. He's going to get up and kill you. I remember being like legitimately worried for Hacksaw. But yeah, and my daughters just watched The Princess Bride last night. And anyway, I'm really, really pumped for that.
I think it's going to be fantastic. I think tonight, to the crowd, I mean, look, I know these were expensive tickets. I know they ended up doing a 2-for-1 to fill some seats there. But man, when you spend pay-per-view money, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's their form of protest, just to amuse themselves and be dicks during some matches. But, we'll talk about this in a second. Even during the Ronda intro there, they were busting out with some what's at Triple H and whatnot. I mean, I don't know. I think as a crowd, like, you know what you're in for, right? I mean, it's the product. If you like the product well enough to go to a pay-per-view, I think cut them some slack.
I agree.
Yeah.
At least be polite.
I agree. You don't do that shit at a movie theater. you don't do that at a rock concert either. So why do it here? And this is where I think it's important. Yes, you listen to the fans. You do. And one could argue, we fans have been oppressed for years and they've never listened to us, and we've had it. That crap, that doesn't work here. This is just being outright disrespectful to dudes that are on the road and away from their friggin' families 4 to 5 days a week to entertain your spoiled asses. Sorry, it is what it is. I don't like it.
Yeah. But the one positive is, at least I'm sure WWE much rather prefers the fans chanting Rusev Day instead of CM Punk. So there's that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, Corey Graves was playing it off like the chants were directed at Bray, and that was
the fans are going crazy. They're nuts tonight.
Yeah.
They're under the spell of Woken Matt Hardy.
Sorry, Matt, you froze up there.
That's the announcer's job, though. You know what I mean? Bobby Heenan used to do a great job with that, and I always appreciate that. You know what I mean? That's your damn job. Is to help the talent get a little bit more over, help tell the stories a little bit better. You know what I mean? And try to control the narrative if you can on these storylines and characters.
But that being said, this match, I was not a fan of this match. I thought it was there.
No.
I hope this feud is over. God, if Matt Hardy's doing something, Bray Wyatt shows up on the Tron, I'm just gonna throw something at the TV.
You know what?
You won't.
Yeah.
Well,
because that's
something
just hurting
soft.
yourself. You know? But you know, I can't remember who it was on Twitter talking about this. I know Wrestling Inc. may have retweeted it. What if they pair these guys together?
Ugh. Get them away from each other.
I think you put them together, the crazy shtick.
You know what? At this point, I think they messed up the Woken stuff so bad that I'm fine with him dropping the whole thing and when Jeff Hardy comes back and just going back to being the Hardy Boys. I feel like this gimmick has brought him down as a star. You look at where the Hardys were a year ago, you know, like how, you know, insane they blew up at WrestleMania and how nuts they were going every time they were out. And now it just feels like fans are just they're trying to get into it. They'll chant delete and they want to get into it, but I just feel like the production and the stuff that they've done is just so hokey. It's not like that stuff they did in TNA where it was so raw and gritty that it felt different and unique. It just feels stupid now.
Where's the stuff that they said they filmed at Matt's house? When are we gonna see that shit?
I don't know. I don't know if Matt says that in interviews, just hoping that'll happen, because it doesn't look like they're really putting a lot of resources into this gimmick.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because I think Jeff Hardy coming back as Brother Nero will just bring him down, as opposed to either being a singles or even still being paired up with Matt.
Yeah. So let's talk about the Ronda Rousey segment. You know, this was a big deal tonight. They hyped this.
No, real quick, Hardy won that match with the
Yes, Hardy
Twist of
did
Fate.
win. So we had Triple H. Stephanie.
One more thing, Matt, what you were saying with his hip or something, you really noticed it in this match. Matt did seem to be limping a lot. All right, Glenn, sorry.
So, no, it's cool. Hey, want to make sure we get it all in, right? So Ronda came out tonight, and there was Kurt Angle, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon. Man, this was a little tough. I mean, Ronda with the promos, I feel like maybe they didn't want to give her a script, or I don't know if she's not used to working that way. But this was quite a soap opera angle. I think Kurt Angle was the MVP, even with his flub about WrestleMania 21 versus 31. But setting up this idea that it's going to be Ronda and partner to be named, I'm assuming Kurt Angle against Triple H and Steph. What did you think of this segment, Matt?
I don't know. I liked it. There's parts I didn't like. There's parts that made me like get uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like I started to get that uncomfortable feeling whenever she talks. It was starting to happen, but then something would happen. Like Kurt would say something, Stephanie would say something, and it'd get it back on track again. And then it would. I don't know. It just seemed very. I don't know what it is. I still don't. I can't put my thumb on it. I really can't as to what. I can't put my finger on it, not my thumb. It's not the saying. You know what I mean? I don't know what the hell it was, but there was something about it that made it a little uncomfortable for me. But yet I was excited. I don't know.
Yeah, I was into it the whole time. I was really interested to see how the crowds would react, and it was like they cheered her when she came out with her music. Then once the music stopped, they were booing her, and then there was like a Ronda chant, and it sounded like they turned up the mic wherever the fans were chanting Ronda Rousey. And then they were chanting something else I couldn't make out. It was a weird crowd response. You couldn't tell exactly how they felt, but they popped at the end when Ronda put Triple H through that table.
Right.
And you saw Daniel Cormier and Cain Velasquez. Did you see them at ringside? They were cheering Rousey on, which is kind of cool. So yeah, I mean, it was. I thought this segment was better than I expected. But I agree. I think Triple H, Stephanie, and Kurt really carried it. Kurt had that. Yeah, he had that flub where he said, "Yeah, Triple H, you said that since WrestleMania 21, I mean 31, that you want to own the bitch or something along those lines."
So she's a babyface. I mean, man, with a smile like that, and I love that. She looked genuinely very happy to be there.
Yes,
that was fantastic.
That's true. Yes.
Yeah, and you try her out as a babyface. If fans turn on her, you could always turn her to get put Paul Heyman with her. There's a lot of things you could do. So, and they'll get their headlines with Rousey putting Triple H to the table. So, and that's what they want.
But will she
something with Stephanie, and that she's the one really benefiting from this? Just kind of doesn't sit well,
Yeah.
So you think she'll show up on Raw tomorrow night? They were alluding to that being a possibility.
Yeah, I think the fact that they would even tease it means that she's going to be there.
No way.
You don't think
You
so?
don't think so?
I think when we see what happens with what Stephanie says after tonight's Raw on WWE Network, we'll tip the hand in that favor. We'll know is what I'm saying. I think. But as of right now, because they were very careful with their wording, if you go back and listen to the announcers,
Yeah.
you know, they're like, that would be amazing. You know, when they're talking about her coming, you know, not that for sure she'll be there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I guess on Raw Talk they did say she'll be there. So
yeah, there we go.
There we go.
I'm interested to see what that number does now. I want to see if she fails again.
Yeah.
I can't. Like, that's not fair though. She didn't actually show up. But we all thought she was showing up that next Raw.
Right.
But I'll tell you though, since that happened, the women's division on Raw, the way they're scripting it and doing the segments has gotten so much better. And you know what? I think dislike the fact she's coming in, taking the spotlight from other women, whatever, but she's going to elevate that division and make that division much more of a priority for WWE creative. And if you want to know what the opposite of that looks like, watch SmackDown Live with its one women's segment. So, you know,
Juan bringing up that Kurt's flub ups are becoming painful. They've been happening a lot. I don't know.
Settle down, Juan. Here's a man who's shut up. I'll take over. Juan, settle down. These guys settle. He's taking his life back in control. He was an addict. He's sober. He's clean. For the first time in years, he's trying to do this drug free and not as a functioning addict. Yes, he's flubbing. I get it, but at the same time, where does the point of you guys come in and go? You know what? This dude entertained me for years. You know, he may flub a line or two, but you know what? Good on him. He's back. He's doing it the right way. And he's trying to be a role model again. And for the years of entertainment this dude has given us and sacrificed, becoming an addict. No one wants to become an addict, people. And almost losing his family. But yet is able to come back. It's a hell of a story. So I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt every damn time.
Yeah, I don't think it's that. I just think if the scripted lines are not natural for him, and why not just have him then, you know, be off the cuff? You kind of give him the direction of which way to go, because he's shown back in the past with his promos that he's great. So stop making him do these lines verbatim and give him some leeway. I think he'd be awesome like that if he was a little looser.
There's something happening there because Kurt can memorize. I'm not exaggerating. This is because I'm his friend or some bullshit like that. I'm being honest. At TNA, I've seen him with 10 pages. 10 pages.
Yeah.
Okay? And he never would miss anything. And so I'm wondering if the pressure there is different. I'm not saying they put him down, but do they talk to him differently? Do they treat him differently? Something's going on here that's not adding up.
Yeah, I could see that. And probably the way they do creative now backstage is probably a lot different than it was in his last run with the company.
I was going to say TNA was very last minute as well, though. Like, hey, Kurt, here's your script.
Do you think in this case they're like, you really need to, you know, emphasize this part or emphasize WrestleMania 31 or, you know, like things like that where he's almost got that part really in his head to where it can cause
I don't get WrestleMania 21 and 31. I honestly don't. I can't think of what would make him say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, whatever though, man. I mean, look, if I were him or anyone involved tonight, I'd be nervous for Ronda, being that here I am. We probably just got the script finalized this afternoon, and here we are now doing a 4-person skit. And it's not like we ran this 100 times and we're doing it in the middle of this pay-per-view. I mean, contract signings at a pay-per-view, when's the last time that happened in the WWE?
And plus, you know, when you bring up TNA, Matt, it's also he's cutting promos really about himself and like what he's going to do to a wrestler. And, you know, and I wonder if that mentality is just different as opposed to when you're doing these lines as a authority figure. I don't know.
Could be.
You know, I watched this afternoon, though, while we're speaking of Kurt Angle, a photo shoot. Did you watch the episode of that on the network?
No.
Very good. Very good. Highly recommend it. Nice sort of bookmark with
Bischoff's and Miz.
Oh, Miz was great. Yeah, but Kurt's was very, very well done. Very good, nice bookend with his Hall of Fame speech. But yeah, I think after Mania, he's going to be back to being a in-ring performer, right? I mean, there's no way he stays as GM with this angle.
Why not?
I mean, it's kind of like, okay, so he ratted out. He ratted out the plan. He ratted out Steph and Triple H's plan. He's going to be in a match potentially against them. As
how often did they follow logic in these?
Okay, I don't know. But look, I think him performing more would be great.
Some people are pointing out that WrestleMania 21 was where Kurt Angle had that super match with Shawn Michaels.
That's probably also part of it too. If you're
trivia.
Kurt Angle, you're used to talking about a handful of WrestleManias that like the back of your hand.
Every Kurt Angle WrestleMania was a special. I can't think of one that wasn't.
But he knows all the numbers.
He only had a few, right? He had the triple threat match, I think, with Benoit and I think it was Jericho, and then he had the match with Shawn, and then the Lesnar match. Was there anything else?
Eddie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Eddie. Yeah.
But I guarantee you, he knows those numbers are etched into his brain.
Oh,
Do you think?
What you're saying? Oh,
yeah. How often was he paying attention to WrestleMania 31 when that happened?
Yeah.
Was that on his radar? You know your stuff. I mean, you know your era. So I cut him a lot of slack for that.
And good for him. He'll be in a big match at WrestleMania. So that'll be big.
I do hope he goes back to performing though in some fashion. I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Elimination Chamber match for the WWE Universal title shot at Mania. The main event tonight: Elias versus John Cena versus Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns versus The Miz versus Braun Strowman. 7 men in the chamber. Rollins, Balor, and Miz started things off. And what did you think of the rhythm of this match, Matt, tonight, and how it got started?
I thought it was good. You did. I mean, they kept pointing out how slow it started between the guys that they expected it to pick up from.
Yeah,
but no, I thought that was good. Every match should build into a crescendo. You know what I mean? And
I agree.
Thought that's the way it worked. You know, whether it was Cena coming in and supposedly picking up the action, is irrelevant. They did a good job of crescendoing that match to where they needed to get to start cooking. But I'll keep saying it until I'm blue in the face. The women's match was better. I thought it was twice as better, actually.
I felt like this match was kind of nothing until Strowman got in there. It just felt like there was no energy with the crowd. Like they did not care about this until Strowman came out. And that's with Cena, one of your biggest superstars in company history. They've really phased down. He was beaten like nothing tonight. But I guess everyone took the power slam and was pinned. So Braun pinned everyone until the end with Reigns, which was it was unique. I mean, they really built him as this monster.
But they tipped their hand in the process doing that. They had boners about him eliminating every single person. It tipped a hand, in my opinion, that he wasn't going to win.
Yeah, I agree.
But how weird was it that the commentary called out that the match started slow? Normally they don't give... Well, because they were like, oh yeah, this started a little slower than we thought it would. And it was like, that's an odd critique that they're giving. I felt like they were amusing themselves during a lot of it, which isn't... I mean, now Graves got that killer line about Elias being comfortable behind plexiglass because that's how he spent time with his father as a child. I thought that was pretty good. But yeah, these guys were just trying to fill time, it seemed like, with a lot of this. They almost didn't know how to, fill those gaps in that silence.
You don't have to talk. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's one of the lost arts that nobody seems to want to listen to Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler broadcasts. You don't have to talk. You don't have to. There's not a gun to your head. Shut up. Let things lay out.
Yeah, the commentary has been pretty bad. It's better with Booker gone, but it's still not.
Definitely better.
It's just not. It's just not. JR and Lawler added so much to a show. It's just there. It's just noise. And, I guess you want that because just listening to a match with no commentary gets tiring really quick. But
I like the Miz at the beginning, trying to do his little alliance thing, trying to too sweet Finn. I thought that was great. But then I felt there was a big lull for a while until there were 4 or 5 guys in there and things really picked up.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
How great
Rollins doing the frog splash from the top of the pod was pretty cool on the Strowman.
Yeah, it was.
Everyone hitting their finisher on Braun and not keeping him down. I thought that was huge. But my thing is back to what you were saying about them sort of tipping their hand. With that in mind, what's the logic that this guy took every finisher that their top stars threw at him, and he's not the guy that should be going on to face and beat Brock at WrestleMania?
Just a way to protect him, a way to still make him look like a monster. That's their logic and their thinking and booking it that way, right? I don't know though. I just think that they continue to pick the wrong guy versus Brock. I don't know what else this guy needs to do.
I think first off, the thought of him against Miz at Mania just seems even more ridiculous now. Like how much of a monster they built him out to be, and I don't think anyone sees the Miz as someone credible that could handle Braun at this point. So, but I almost wonder, there's all this stuff with the steroid thing with that filmmaker John Bravo. I almost wonder if they kept Braun really strong just in case they feel like they need to add him with what this video that he's saying that he's going to release in the next week.
There's part of me that think that there still has potential to be a triple threat.
Yeah, that's kind of what it seemed like to me. Like they're keeping that option there because if Roman is going to headline WrestleMania, why have Braun just beat the shit out of him after the match like he was nothing? And if it's just the Las Vegas crowd doesn't boo, they weren't booing when Roman won. So they were booing him during the match, but by the end, I mean, they were with him. And when Braun was doing the power slams on Roman, they popped some for the first one, but at the second and third, they really weren't with it. Because
they were pissed their boy didn't win. That's all. It's like kissing your cousin. You know what I mean? It's coming in second place. No one's going to cheer for that. You know what I mean? That's why. They're pissed. They just realized their boy is not wrestling at WrestleMania for the title. That's why. That's why one of those got to pop in the rest. We're like, well, who cares about this part? He's not going to Mania. That other idiot is. And that's what, if you're a Braun fan, I'm saying. But what I was good. No, I forgot what I was going to say. God dang it. It was important, too. It was good. It was a good point, actually. It was about, I think that, I thought they were booing Roman a little bit toward the end there. Maybe I misheard that. And the other thing is that you're never going to get this guy hotter than he was. He being Braun, and I don't know. I don't know what the guy's got to do. It's frustrating, and I think this is what I was going to say. I was stalling there. Why he did what he did after the match, guys? This is my 2 cents. Maybe I'm wrong. Is to get Roman through to Mania, because you ain't going to see Brock. You'll see Brock a couple times on Raw, maybe.
Yeah, he'll be on Raw tomorrow. I think he's on every week now, going to Mania. Because
I was going to suggest maybe on and Roman continue to do something over the next few weeks until they get to Mania. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's setting up a 3-way potentially.
Yeah, that's kind of what it seemed to me. Even though those weren't the plans. So
I know what their plans are.
Maybe it's just what it was
for Roman, right? Make Super Roman finally.
Yeah. Beat Brock. I mean, that's what they wanted for years, and I think that's still the plan. So we'll see. But Braun versus the Miz, I don't know. I don't see that. I mean, I'm not saying they're not going to do it, but it just seems ridiculous on paper.
It's a very short match.
Yeah.
No, but even with all the comedy, I mean, and they'll make it a very comedic match. There'll be a lot of spots. There'll be a lot of funny parts. They'll ham it up. But how do you drag that out for more than 5 minutes?
Right. Especially after how you had him looking tonight. Like, he destroyed the Miz and everyone else, and now he's going to have trouble with Miz on just a one-on-one match. So, I don't know. I think they should call an audible and do something else, and maybe they have. Again, maybe they are worried about this Johnny Bravo video, and they're keeping their options open.
We'll see. So this was the last Raw only pay-per-view.
Yeah. And they went long. They went long for sure. And guys in the chat, if there was anything newsworthy on Raw Talk, just please type it away and let us know.
Yeah. Man, Fastlane. Okay, so they showed a promo tonight with AJ Styles for Fastlane. Did you guys see that with AJ talking to the camera? Yeah. I love that style. I'm hoping they do that for the other 4 guys as well. I thought that was a very compelling way to sell the pay-per-view, especially given that it's going to be the last SmackDown only pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool. 2 weeks.
Yeah. So Ronda is going to be on Raw, and she'll be on Raw tomorrow night with Rousey, Triple H, and Kurt Angle to air everything out and move forward. So that's that's what they're advertising for tomorrow.
I'm sure that we'll put all the drama to bed, and it will never be spoken of again.
So
Oh
there we
man.
go.
Yeah. What else do we got? You know, people were speculating Undertaker was gonna show up tonight to start building towards Mania. Do you think tomorrow, or do you think they wait till a week or two more before building up Undertaker versus Cena now?
Yeah, you know what's interesting is and granted they do a lot of these covers early, but they had the WrestleMania Blu-ray cover, and again, a lot of these they do well ahead of time, but it had Ronda Rousey, so it couldn't have been that ahead of time. But yeah, they have a bunch of people on the cover, you know, Cena, Reigns, Rousey, AJ Styles, Nakamura, but there was no Undertaker, so. That could just mean that when they did the cover, they weren't sure if he was going to be there or not, so they just kept him off. But yeah, but he's clear. I mean, he's been working out. I think it's clear that he's going to be there, so we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it seems like you've seen more and more photos lately of him online. People are talking about he's much more mobile and doing better since the surgery. So yeah, looks like it'll happen. And tonight they were saying, "Oh, Cena, how's Cena going to get to Mania?" So I'm sure tomorrow night that will be addressed.
Good point.
Yeah. What else do we got?
We got that Johnny Bravo video. Matt, have you been paying attention to this?
No.
Okay. So this filmmaker, so there's this guy Richard Rodriguez, who his company WFN supplied steroids to a bunch of people, like thousands and thousands of people, and he got arrested. They got busted a couple years ago, so he's in prison. So he implicated Roman Reigns, and actors Mark Wahlberg and Josh. I'm going to screw up his last name, but Duhamel or whatever his name is.
Josh Duhamel, I believe. Yeah.
Duhamel. Okay.
Yep.
So he implicated them, and I guess part of that was and the reason why he named them was as part of the discovery process during the proceedings. Their names came out, so it seems like the DEA had talked to them or something along those lines. So anyway, they've been posting these videos. So all three, Reigns sent us a statement denying it, Wahlberg's denied it, Duhamel denied it, and now
they actually sent you I'm sorry, they actually sent you like Roman Reigns wrote you a note.
Yeah, they sent us a statement it was like a few weeks ago.
I'm sure they sent the same statement to everyone. It wasn't like Roman just sat down.
Yeah, but
still, You're Wrestling Inc.
Oh no, yeah, but usually they would avoid these types of stories.
Absolutely. Like the plague, they would have avoided that. That's why I believe maybe Roman doesn't have anything to sweat here.
Yeah, so now they're saying, now the filmmaker is saying that these orders that Reigns placed were before his suspension, and that his suspension in 2016 was over these. And if that's the case, then he already did his time. You know, he already paid the price.
I was told it was over ADD. I was told it was over what's it called? What's the name of the drug? Adderall. Yeah,
so that was the belief at that time, was that it was over Adderall. But WWE never said, specified what it was. Reigns never said what it was. And some people think the Adderall thing was just put out there. So
yeah,
but whatever it was, Reigns said in his statement, he said that he failed that test and he's apologized, and he's taken 11 tests since then and hasn't failed any. But now this filmmaker, they posted a video last week of Duhamel with receipts and transactions and stuff that they had, and they said they got the next one's going to be on Reigns, and that should be out this week. So.
Can't people doctor receipts and things of that nature?
Sure.
They can, but I think in this case, I mean, this all seems legit. And but the problem is, it seems like he did an interview over the weekend, and it seems like he's saying that these things all led to his last suspension. If that's the case, you're not really
dropping some new bombshell.
Exactly. Now, the one problem is Reigns in his statement said he had never heard of WFN or Richard Rodriguez. So by putting this out there,
maybe it's his friend.
It could
be. What happens if it's friend's brother's second cousin? It's never going to be direct contact. When you're a superstar of that magnitude, guys, you're never going to be like a direct hookup to the main steroid guy. That's never going to be the case.
But I think.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but I think the thing is with these emails, I think they're direct. It's not. in these cases. And I think that's why they were implicated, because in the interview, Bravo said that they're celebrity trainers that spent like 150 to 200 grand on their clients. So that would be a case where, people are using a third party, but it almost sounds like in this case, it was direct.
I'd like
to
think
they're saying, I'm sorry. So they're saying Roman Reigns is sitting there on his keyboard.
Yep.
I want testosterone, Cypionate tomorrow, exclamation mark. That's what we're supposed to believe.
There's
no way he could be that dumb. No way.
I think if it was a third party, then they wouldn't even bring up his name, because they would have nothing.
I think, what's the benefit here? That's the question I always ask in these situations. What's the benefit if we're playing devil's advocate that this guy is full of shit? What's the benefit for the guy in jail? Does he get time off?
No, so they're making a documentary on this. So so they get financial gain, but obviously they'd get sued if they were lying. These are like some big
aims they're lying about.
Yeah, they'd get sued. I mean, it's Mark Wahlberg, who's a huge player in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Duhamel's got that Taco Bell fries and Fergie money. He could sue them with that.
Yeah. So, and there's no talk of that. And he addressed it, like with the lawsuit. He said if we were lying, we'd get sued, but no one's going to sue us because we're telling the truth and we have the facts and the evidence.
Yeah.
I
don't get, personally though, what's the benefit here? Like, why try to get these guys in trouble either? That's the other thing I'll never understand.
I think it's for this documentary, this film that they're making.
He's really upset that Braun is not facing Brock at Mania.
Right? Like dude, why go out of your way to screw up another man's life that bad?
Yeah.
I don't get it. I just don't get it.
But again, in this interview so far, he said the documents that they have with Reigns is before his suspension. So again, it's all for naught, because Reigns already paid his price for that. Now he made a stupid statement by saying he'd never heard of Rodriguez or WFN, because when you say something like that, even if he just bumped into him at a gym, if there's a photo, then that kind of kills your credibility.
What's he supposed to say? Yes,
take that sentence out. Take the sentence out where you've never heard of Rodriguez.
You guys take that out of context and it becomes a headline.
Yeah. It's not out of context. He said he's never heard of Rodriguez or WFN.
Natalie in our chat's bringing up. I'm sorry.
I'm saying if he says he did, you're telling if he did hear of them. If he went the opposite route and said, yeah, you know what, I did, but it was a long time ago. A long time ago, guys, ain't going to be in the damn boldface print on the headline. You know it won't.
Yeah.
Here's the full statement, because that is what he said. So this was the statement that was sent to us. It said, I've never heard of Richard Rodriguez or Wellness, Fitness, Nutrition. I learned from the mistake I made nearly 2 years ago and paid the penalty for it. Since then, I've passed 11 tests as part of WWE's independent drug testing program. So if they just took out the sentence where he said, I've never heard of Richard Rodriguez or Wellness, Fitness, Nutrition, that's all you need is the rest of that statement. And then this story coming up means nothing.
Natalie's asking in the chat, and I thought I'd read this as well. Didn't this dealer say that there were multiple wrestlers?
15. So he's saying there's 15 wrestlers that were clients. And I guess the reason why the other 15, they're not being named is because, hold on, I'll look that up real quick.
I'm very surprised at that. This drug test, I'm telling you guys right now, this drug test that they have is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's impossible it really is.
Yeah.
Well, aren't there certain kind of like HGH and stuff that don't stay in your system?
No, HGH absolutely blood tested for that, and they definitely do.
But I thought they urine test, not blood test.
There has to be a blood test. There has to be. They have to test for HIV. They got to test for all these other different things. It doesn't cost that much more money to add HGH to that. And plus, that's not the main thing. What you should be asking me is, well, Matt, what about the guys that have prescriptions to take testosterone? That's the real question. And there are guys that once you hit age 27, 28, our levels drop. It doesn't matter who you are. It's just a natural part of the process with Mother Nature. And you can manipulate the system by saying, look, I got no test levels, doc. I need a prescription. And they will give you a very small amount of prescription. But not enough to have bodybuilding qualities, though.
Yeah.
Just enough to get your guy to be normal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So they're saying, so he's saying Reigns, Wahlberg, and Dumel were, their names were mentioned in the court discovery process. So it seems like the DEA spoke to those individuals. But the 15 wrestlers who had placed orders, they were not mentioned in the court discovery process, and they're not planning on outing those people, at least as of right now. So, yeah. But I thought HGH was the one that like MMA fighters and stuff would use to get out of. That's why they wouldn't fail the drug testing back in the day. But now with
back in the day,
when they show up at the gyms and stuff, now that's why they're getting popped, is because if you know when you're being tested and you have enough time, you can get around.
HGH stays in your system for a while.
Okay.
Longer than a water-based testosterone, longer than a Winstrol, Anavar. Those are in and out of your system in 48 hours. Those are cutters. Those make you react faster, run faster, jump higher, be stronger, get more cut and defined. Testosterone gives you that bulk, that strength, that recovery factor, and that stays in your system a lot longer. Stores in your fat cells for up to 6 months.
What's the steroid that's really strong? Not
testosterone.
Winstrol. No, not testosterone. There's another one.
Deca.
Deca's the one that they used to use in the 80s, right?
Decanite. It's good for lubricating your joints, putting on some size as well, making your muscles harder.
There's one other one that someone is saying the half-life of HGH in the blood is more or less 17 to 45 minutes.
No. It doesn't even hit you. You put it in your stomach. Oh, whatever. I'm going to shut up.
So anyway, I think if all those orders were before he got suspended for it. He did his time. It's kind of a non-story. But him denying it is going to kind of hurt his credibility on it.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
I just hate, like today's day and age, I hate to say it because I don't work there, so I have no reason to give these guys props, but they've done such a great job of taking steroids out. And someone like me who was always going to be, 6'11", always going to be 300 pounds and not feel the pressure to take steroids, you know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? Like, I would have really benefited from that if this was around when I started. This drug testing policy. I wouldn't have had to, I'm not going to say I lost spots to guys who were on the gas or anything of that nature. I'm not going to say something stupid like that, but there were a lot of guys that were hired that probably would have been hired if they didn't look a certain way.
Yeah.
And I think it evens the playing field out tremendously. And they've done a great job, WWE, of having this most stringent test. That's a shoot. I was at their performance center talking to one of the trainers there, and I still would walk away like, holy crap, I thought I knew everything there was to know about their drug testing, but it's twice as difficult to take something than I thought. They can't even take creatine.
Wow.
Are you shitting me? Creatine? I was taking that back in the 90s.
Yeah.
All it does is make you hold water.
Yeah, the steroid. So I was thinking about Ximbo brought it up. It's Trenbolone. Have you heard of that?
Trenbolone sandwiches. Yes, of course. Trenbolone is a very good one. That's a great. That was something you guys knew I used to take them. Obviously, I always tell people this early on in my wrestling career, and that was one of my favorites. Trenbolone. I would take that with testosterone. But then Jim Ross came in and told me I don't look like an athlete anymore. He goes, didn't you play basketball? I was like, look like an athlete. You don't even look like an athlete anymore. He's like, so I don't know what you're doing, son, but get off the shit. And this is before there was really any stringent testing. But Jim Ross, who was the head of talent relations at the time, tells me to do it. I'm going to do it. I just wish everyone else had to do it at the time.
Yeah, and that's a really strong one, right?
It is. It's very toxic too.
Yeah.
It's not very good for you.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll see with this. So that should be coming up this week. So stay tuned to Wrestling Inc. But I think ultimately it looks like it's just stuff that led to his last suspension, and all that's really coming out is that he was not busted for Adderall. It could have been steroids.
Yeah.
I hate witch hunts. I hate them.
Yeah.
Agreed. So this is a very minor note, but we talked about this extensively on the podcast before about why isn't Cyndi Lauper in the WWE Hall of Fame, right? And it comes up. It was trending on social media. People were talking about this again the other day. we had said, and many people have said, oh, we heard they approached her years ago. She turned them down. Well, tonight, folks, right as the show was starting, I caught that glimpse of Cyndi Lauper in the WrestleMania promo. There was a shot of her and Wendy Richter. I tweeted that I saw that. Wouldn't it be cool if next year Mania is in New York and Cyndi Lauper gets inducted then? Lo and behold, 3 minutes later, Cyndi Lauper retweeted me on her official Twitter account. So
it doesn't seem like it's not a case of her not wanting to do it then.
Yeah. I thought that was interesting.
She absolutely deserves to be.
Oh, absolutely. Sure. I'm surprised. Yeah. I could see it being like at some point they asked her to do it, maybe during the Attitude Era, and she didn't want to be associated with it then when it was pretty raunchy. But now it's a very different product.
Yeah. And especially with the women's division with Ronda, I think right now probably more in line with her beliefs.
That MTV special, guys, was enormous.
Huge.
Like I'm telling you, every single house on my block, I'm not exaggerating, had that on. That's all anyone talked about.
Yeah.
Well, and that was the genius of the WWE back in the 80s, is I remember going to school and the girls were talking about Cyndi Lauper doing stuff with the wrestlers in WrestleMania. The guys were talking about Mr. T. And we're talking about Hulk in Rocky 3. And it was the WWE, it found its way onto your radar. If you didn't know what it was, it found you. And she was vital.
And it was so realistic looking back then, too. Like that whole angle that they did when Roddy Piper went crazy and started attacking Mr. T. And Mr. T came in, made the save.
Captain Lou Albano. He hit him,
smashed him over the head with Aaron Goldberg. Yeah, so awesome. But,
so it's possible. I think New York would make a lot of sense more than New Orleans. Kid Rock is the rumor if it hasn't been announced yet. I don't think it's been announced officially.
No, that hasn't been announced. But
the thinking for this year for the Celeb Wing. So who knows? Maybe next year in New York, it would make sense. It's her hometown.
Yeah. So I guess real quick, John Cena was on Raw Talk. He said something along the lines of he may have to go outside of proper etiquette to get a match at Mania. So that's probably him calling out the Undertaker. It's so that storyline that he can't get a match at WrestleMania. So silly. But
yeah.
Anyway.
It's John Cena. Hopefully this kid will catch a break.
Yeah.
Do you guys see on social today I was targeted that trailer for Blockers, that movie that he took time off to film?
Oh, yeah. I saw him at his commercial of it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a few trailers out over the last couple months.
Yeah, it looks like a great movie, actually. It looks funny.
Yeah. So I'm sure that'll be another hit for him. He's on a roll, man. I mean, I think they're going to be lucky to keep him as long as they can, but I can't imagine he's not getting insane offers just daily.
Yeah, I just watched Daddy's Home 2 the other night. Have you guys seen that?
No, but I heard he was in the first one as well, right?
Yeah, he just had a quick cameo in the first one at the end. He wasn't in this one much, but he was in it enough, and he was really funny.
Cool. Yeah, so tomorrow night, folks, Monday Night Raw, the fallout from Elimination Chamber. Sure, we'll find out something more about Cena's WrestleMania plans. Maybe Undertaker, who knows? Maybe a hint. Ronda Rousey tomorrow night, confirmed. Roman, I'm sure, do some sort of promo. Braun will do something. Brock and Heyman are going to be there. It's going to be a stacked Raw, and we'll be here to talk about it immediately after it goes off the air on the East Coast on the Wrestling Inc. podcast.
One last thing. People are asking about Lashley. So, yeah, it's been known for like a month that Lashley, I think Meltzer reported like a month ago that at one point he was talking with New Japan and WWE, and then he basically stopped talking with New Japan. So that's clear that he's got something
get your
with
money,
WWE.
Bobby. Go make your money, Bobby. There's not even the debate here anymore.
Yeah, and they were talking about him doing something with Lesnar after WrestleMania, if Lesnar stays. And, you know, he's doing that whole thing again where he's acting like he might go to the UFC. So we'll see. I have a feeling at his age with the John Jones fight, not really a possibility unless something crazy happened regarding his drug test failure. I see Lesnar re-signing with WWE. That
Why
makes
not?
a lot of sense. Yeah,
It does.
Cool, guys. So I think that just about covers it for tonight.
Yeah, I don't have anything else.
We got nothing else. Stay tuned to Wrestling Inc. for all the latest info. You can follow BP Matt Morgan on Instagram and the Twitter. I'm at Glenn Rubenstein on Twitter. And we will see you back here tomorrow on the Wrestling Inc. podcast. Take care.
See you guys.